The Ondo State House of Assembly has ratified the nomination of Chief Olaide Adelami as the Deputy Governor of Ondo State. The exercise, which took place at the hallowed chambers of the Assembly during a plenary headed by the Speaker, Olamide Oladiji, was sequel to the letter sent to this heat by the State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshilola Adeseyajayi reports that the Deputy Governor nominee had earlier appeared before the Selection Committee for a screening exercise before the ratification.
The confirmation process followed the submission and consideration of a report by the House Selection Committee, headed by the Speaker, Olamide Oladiji. While submitting the report, the Deputy Speaker of the House, Prince Abayomi Akinruntan, affirmed
provided excellent answers to all the questions across to him. 2. Possess the required experience, charisma, and much needed exposure to function effectively as Deputy Governor of Ondo State.
Majority Leader Oluwole Ogunmolashoye, who moved for his ratification, noted that the Deputy Governor designate have a clear understanding of the position and was seconded by a lawmaker representing Akoko Northwest Constituency 2, Felix Afe.
Deputy Governor designate should appear for confirmation by this honorable house. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to second the motion. So move.
The Speaker, Oladiji, who ruled for the confirmation, congratulated the Deputy Governor-designate, urging him to put in his best and pledged the House support to the executive for the people to enjoy more dividends of democracy.
God will give you the knowledge to support our native governors, His Excellency Lucky Aiyedatiwa, to pioneer the affair of this franchise states, so that our people, the people of Ondo State, can enjoy the dividend of democracy. Once again, I want to congratulate you.
While appreciating the governor for nominating him, Chief Adelami promised to work hand in glove with him to ensure a more formidable party in the state. He also assured the people of the state of better practices that will bring about all-round development.
Reconciliation is very key. My principal, the governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, I really appreciate him for giving me this opportunity. I will not betray his emotion. I will not betray his confidence that he has placed on me. And one thing I know of him is that he's a very cool-headed person. He listens, and with me coming on board, he's my boss. And the little experience I garner, on the other side, and the executive and legislature, I will bring it to bear. And I know that the aggregate of this will transform Ondo State.
While appreciating the lawmakers for a job well done, he promised to foster more robust relationship between the executive and the legislature. Omoshilola Adeseyajayi, Osrc News.
This convergence of students and youths at the Ondo State office in Akure clear support for the present administration being led by Lucky Aiyedatiwa.
This is the way I wanted to be. We love your mission.
Known as the Aiyedatiwa Youth and Student Support Group, the people are made up of past and present National Students Union leaders from across the state and local government areas. Leader of the group, Vincent Olibamoye, said the group is interested in ensuring that the impactful governance being enjoyed by people of the state is sustained.
We are assuring you of our 100% support. We are with you. We are going to mobilize from the local to the state level. All the entire youth of Ondo State are with you. Mr. Governor, we can tell you that we are with you. You have our support.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa expressed gratitude for their support, saying he will follow the footprint of his late predecessor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, towards prioritizing students and youths.
You have been giving this support to this government right from inception. What we have witnessed that brought me on board as governor of Ondo State is a transition within an administration. As a result of the demise of our leader, the late governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, SANCON. You all recall the kind of love and compassion he also has for students and youth. The same love and compassion I'm also going to show to you.
The governor said his administration will step up efforts towards resolving challenges of payment of bursaries and allowances to indigenous students.
I know your yearnings and aspirations in terms of your bursary and other allowances that are due for students. I know the shuttle buses are running for pupils in both the primary and secondary schools.
Aiyedatiwa encouraged the group to mobilize and partake in the final rite late Akeredolu billed for next month. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Made at a consultative meeting between the state and representatives of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and Restaurants and Food Services Proprietors Association of Nigeria. Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokumbo Wahab, said enough damage has been done to the health of the people and the environment. He said the only moratorium which the state was willing to offer all producers and distributors of styrofoam is to delay enforcement of the ban by 3 weeks. Wahab noted that the pronouncement on ban of styrofoam was made over 3 years ago, but said no one had tried to enforce the law till now. Meanwhile, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has revealed that by March this year, the groundbreaking ceremony for the mainland bridge will be done and the bridge will be constructed in phases. Sanwo-Olu, who made the revelation at the Lagos West Senatorial District Town Hall meeting, said he and his deputy governor, Femi Hamzat, want to be remembered by all the interventions implemented when they leave. The governor said Lagos State government has done extensive work on the 4th mainland bridge, disclosing that the government reached the final dot of the construction of the bridge. Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured that only a few buildings will be touched during the construction of the Fourth Mainland Bridge, as the landlord and tenants that will be affected will be compensated. The governor also said conversation on the airport being planned for Ibajuleki area of the state has reached an advanced stage 2 and work will start soon. Nigerian Labour Congress NLC has alleged that the economic policies of President Bola Tinubu's administration are largely driven by the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund IMF, which are deforming the nation's economy, calling for a holistic overhaul of the policies to make them more effective and sustainable. The Congress said while some measures might attract foreign investments and provide immediate fiscal relief, the policies most times come with significant adverse socioeconomic consequences. NLC President Joe Adero said this in a paper presented at the 21st Daily Trust Dialogue in Abuja. While urging government to review some of its policies and seek creative ways to reduce the hardship on poor Nigerians, he warned that any reform that did not deliberately reduce the cost of governance in Nigeria by at least 50% was deceptive. According to Ajero, reforms are expected to produce better results or outcomes for the people, and if not, they become a deformation. Meanwhile, federal government has directed National Universities Commission (NUC) to expedite action towards the completion of the nuclear energy curriculum. The completion, it said, would enable universities, Nigerian Atomic Energy Commission and polytechnics to commence the training of nuclear scientists and technologists locally. Minister of Education Tahir Mamman made the revelation when he received the leadership of Nigerian Nuclear Energy Commission in his office in Abuja. Mamman also stated that federal government will prioritize the award of scholarships to students wishing to study nuclear science and related courses within and outside the country. The Director General of the Commission, Professor Yusuf Ahmed, told the Minister that his organization was currently partnering Korea and China to meet its training needs for nuclear scientists, adding that there was need for the country to look inward in this regard. Bayelsa State Government says it is working on to make the teaching and learning of Ijaw, French and Chinese languages, as well as science and mathematics, a priority in public schools in the state. It stated that the essence of emphasizing the teaching of these three languages and the core science subjects, including mathematics, was to prepare and equip children to take full advantage of career opportunities in those subjects. The Deputy Governor, Lawrence Eruko-Japo, disclosed this during a courtesy visit by the state chapter of Association of Professional Women Engineers of Nigeria in Yenagoa. The Deputy Governor disclosed that the state is recruiting more teachers in mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology and computer science, and placing priority on Chinese, French and Ijaw languages. He explained that the growing economic influence of China in global affairs as a major state actor in world trade and commerce justify the inclusion of Mandarin as a subject in the school curriculum. Now to crime-related stories. The Nigerian Police Force has revealed its plans to go after members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer LGBTQ community in the country. The move followed a video where 8 persons publicly declared their membership of the community. Reacting to the viral video, First Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Dijobi said they are criminals and punishable under the law. He said Nigerian police are on the clip to take necessary action according to the provisions of the law in Nigeria, asserting that it is a crime to have a meeting of homosexuals or to operate or attend a gay club, society or organization. In the meantime, the Nigerian Police Force has recovered no fewer than 10 corpses in various locations in Mangu local government area, Plateau State. This was as the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in the Mangu local government area, Reverend Timothy Daluk, said he would not withdraw the allegations against troops on the crisis, nor would he honor any invitation by the military. Reverend Daluk was invited by Defense Headquarters over his recent comments against the military on the killings in Magu. The Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has said it was ready to defend its allegation that the military was aiding killings in the state. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mofwang has strongly denounced the recent security breach in Kwahashalele community and various parts of Mangu local government area. French farmers have blocked highways and crates of imported produce, demanding urgent action on low farm gate prices, grain regulation, and free trade policies as swelling protests moved closer to Paris. Farmers say the protests, now in their second week after breaking out in the southwest, would continue as long as their demands are not met, posing the first big challenge for new Prime Minister Gabriel Attal. Aderonke Kolawole has details.
French farmers dumped soil and rubbish in front of a local building in Britain as part of nationwide protests, now in the second week, demanding government protection for sheep imports, rising costs and red tape. This is posting the first great challenge for new Prime Minister Gabriel Attal. Jean-Jacques Priscar is a local union leader in Rennes, Britain.
Because we always have more rules to follow. We are always asked for more, and we earn less and less. We are not living from our work anymore. Today, we want the authorities to understand that agriculture is important, that food sovereignty is in danger, that we cannot ask farmers to produce quality. I would even say super quality food, but import products that do not match French standards at all. It's no longer bearable. It's not.
Attal today convened senior ministers meeting with the aim of announcing concrete proposal. Farmers blocked major roads across France, which is the European Union's biggest agricultural producer. Protesters head closer to Paris, with tractors leading a go-slow in rush hour near Versailles. Some farming unions have threatened to block the capital.
Well, the situation is not so different with other European countries, and that's where it's pretty difficult for the government to answer, because it's not the case that the government can make prices. And more, prices don't depend on industry or retailers, because we have European and eventually world prices. So those small farmers, small farming enterprises and so on have to live with the instability and even the volatility of world agricultural prices.
Philip Chama, an economist at Paradophine University, says the government can solve everything. On top of their other concerns, farmers, especially in the dairy sector, fear they will be on the sharp end of efforts to lower food prices as the government tries to cut inflation. French retailers are locked in annual price negotiation with suppliers, which the government wants concluded by the end of the month. Fearing a spillover from farmers' unrest in Germany, Poland and Romania, the French government has already postponed a draft farming law meant to help more people become farmers, saying it will beef up the measures and EU regulations. Aderonke Kolawole, Osrc News.
According to the United Nations, the great majority of 400,000 Gazans characterized by UN agencies as at risk of starving are actually in famine. Akintunde Akinshomola in this report has more.
In battered, hard-to-reach North Gaza, rare aid deliveries are mobbed by hungry Palestinians. Aid workers report seeing people thin and visibly starving with sunken eyes. Hunger stalks the entire Gaza Strip, where 2.3 million people live under Israeli bombardment. The United Nations warned the pockets of Gaza face famine. Areas near the Egyptian border had limited supplies of imported food, but not the north, says World Health Organization Emergency Coordinator Sean Casey.
The food situation in the north is absolutely horrific. There's almost no food available, and everybody we talk to begs for food and comes to us and asks, where's the food?
Medics in Gaza hospitals describe babies born sick to malnourished mothers, infants losing weight, mothers milk, and injured patients too weak from hunger to fight off infection. Jabal Al-Shah is a pediatrics doctor at Al-Najjar Hospital in Rafah.
A month and a half ago, this baby's weight was 7.5 kilos. In a month and a half, he lost nearly 2 kilos. His weight is now 5.5 kilos. The mother and the baby suffer from malnutrition. No milk is available, which all impacts the growth of the baby. He lost 2 kilos. This is bad. It impacts his immunity. He constantly has inflammation in the chest and gastroenteritis.
Scenes of chaos and gunfire during an aid distribution in Gaza City in this video.
Now the occupation forces are opening fire on citizens as they receive humanitarian aid in the north of the Gaza Strip, in Al Zaytun neighborhood. This is the sound of gunfire. These are the scenes.
At the start of the war, after a Hamas assault that killed more than 1,200 people, Israel announced it was cutting off all supplies to Gaza. It has since let in humanitarian aid, but far less is entering the enclave now than before. Palestinians interviewed said they often went days without eating or could only eat once a day. What food is commercially available is often unaffordable. In Khan Yunis, Palestinian mother Hannah Nafal is displaced like most Gazans. She opens a single can of beans for her 5 children.
It has been nearly 100 days while eating this canned food. The children are suffering a lot and getting sick. The situation is really bad for them. They have a lot of diseases. We could not even bring medications for them. It is difficult to bring medications. What can I tell you? There are no supplies to buy. We are all depending on canned food, and the canned food is really bad.
No comprehensive data on hunger is available for Gaza, with aid agencies struggling to move and communicate amid the fighting. UNICEF projects that in the coming weeks, more than 10,000 children in Gaza risk wasting, one of the most serious results of malnutrition, which can stunt physical growth and brain development. Ether Stobag, Action Against Hunger, says children are at highest risk of dying.
Severe acute malnutrition that you've mentioned before is the deadliest form of hunger, and it's the biggest threat right now in Gaza.
Aid agencies say Israeli checks are hampering aid deliveries into Gaza, and the military prevents distribution outside the southern area around Rafah. Israeli government spokesman Elon Levy has denied such limitations and put any problems down on capacity. Akintunde Akinshemola for Osrc News.
By writer Jean Carroll, but his much anticipated time on the stand was kept brief. The civil trial focuses on defamatory comments Mr. Trump made about Carroll in 2019 while in the White House. Found to have sexually assaulted Ms. Carroll in the 1990s, though he continues to deny the attack. Judge Lewis Kaplan, who is overseeing the case, insisted that the former U.S. president limit the topics he discussed on the stand, since a separate trial found him liable of sexually assaulting Ms. Carroll. The judge said the first trial established the facts and the only issue remaining was how much Mr. Trump must pay Ms. Carroll, if anything. Elsewhere, but still in the U.S., Alabama has executed convicted murderer Kenneth Smith with nitrogen gas, the first time the method of capital punishment has been used globally. Smith lost 2 final appeals to the Supreme Court and 1 to a federal appeals court, arguing the execution was a cruel and unusual punishment. In 2022, Alabama tried and failed to execute Smith by lethal injection. He was convicted in 1989 of murdering a preacher's wife, Elizabeth Seneff, in a killing for hire. Smith is the first person to be put to death using pure nitrogen gas anywhere in the world. Now talking sports, a shock-riddled Africa Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast has reached the round of 16, with 14 ties between winners of the competition, highlighting a 4-day schedule that kicks off on Saturday. The clashes of champions pit Nigeria against Cameroon, Egypt against Democratic Republic of Congo, title holder Senegal against Cote d'Ivoire, and Morocco against South Africa. None of the other 4 matches feature a former winner, but 2015 semi-finalist Equatorial Guinea will attract attention after topping a group including more fancied Nigeria and Ivory Coast. Akintunde Akishimola has more.
An often dramatic group stage of the Africa Cup of Nations is now over. That means 8 teams are heading home, among them some of the tournament. Algeria, for example, 30th in FIFA's global, finished bottom in Group D, was won by 107th ranked Angola. Algeria were unceremoniously dumped out from the competition after a 1-0 defeat to Mauritania, 105th in the world rankings. That was just one of a series of giant-killing performances at this year's AFCON, resulting in the likes of Ghana and Tunisia also heading home. Algeria and Tunisia's coaches stepped down, but Ghana fired their coach. Qualification for the last 16 has gone to the top teams from each group and 4 best third-place teams. For Namibia, that's meant joy as they qualify for the knockout stage for the first time ever. For host Cote d'Ivoire, it relieved the AFCON avoiding an embarrassing early exit thanks to Morocco's 1-0 victory over Zambia. Nevertheless, the coach has been fired after the Ivorians succumbed 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea, first ever inflicted on an AFCON host. They've also got a tough task ahead as the Ivorians will play current champion Senegal, who have won every match of their tournament so far, for a place in the quarterfinals against either Burkina Faso or Mali. The round of 16 matches begin on Saturday when Angola take on Namibia and Super Eagles of Nigeria play Cameroon. Sunday's matches are Equatorial Guinea versus Guinea and Egypt against Democratic Republic of Congo. Cape Verde against Mauritania on Monday, and the World Cup semi-finalists Morocco clash with South Africa on Tuesday. Akintunde Akishimola for Osrc News.
Jungle.